All right, let's dive right in. We're going to talk about a huge, and I mean huge, problem that pretty much every business is facing right now, the massive and still growing cloud skills shortage. This is the kind of thing that can completely torpedo even the most brilliant strategy.
So, picture this. You've got your cloud plan all mapped out. The budget's a go. The migration strategy, it's perfect. But wait, there's this one tiny little question that can bring the whole thing crashing down. Are your people actually ready to execute it? This, right here, is the #1 roadblock to digital transformation today. And spoiler alert, we're going to see that how most companies are trying to fix this, well, it's just not working.
Okay, so what are we even talking about when we say the cloud skills gap? It sounds kind of corporate-y, right? But it's actually super simple. It's this giant, widening canyon between all the cloud experts companies need, your cloud architects, your DevOps gurus, and the number of people who actually have those skills. The demand is just skyrocketing, and the supply, well, it can't keep up. And this isn't some problem for the future. It's happening right now, today.
All right, let's get into the numbers. And honestly, they're pretty mind-blowing. They really show you just how big of a crisis this is.
4 million. Just let that sink in for a second. That's how many cloud computing jobs are expected to be sitting empty globally in just a couple of years. This isn't just a little shortage, folks. This is a massive, gaping hole in the workforce. And if you're wondering, okay, but how does that affect me right now? Well, here you go. A staggering 93% of IT leaders, we're talking basically everyone, say this exact skills shortage is delaying their most important projects. It's a drag on innovation. It's slowing down migrations. It's hurting their ability to compete. This isn't just some HR thing, This is a fundamental business problem.
So, what's the typical knee-jerk reaction to this problem? You guessed it, let's just hire more people. It feels like the right move, right? You're taking action. But as we're about to break down, this bias strategy, it's not just pricey, it's fundamentally broken. Okay, now take a look at this. This really tells the story. On the left, you see the average salary for, say, a mid-level cloud engineer. Looks like a big number, right? Maybe 150 grand or so. But now look at the bar on the right. That's the real cost. Once you tack on recruiter fees, the time it takes to onboard them, all that stuff, that one person is costing you well over $200,000 in just the first year. The salary is just the beginning.
And believe it or not, it gets even worse. That's just the stuff you can easily put on a spreadsheet. Think about the hidden costs. Your projects are just sitting there, stalled, for a month or two while you're hunting for someone. Then you finally hire them, and they need what, 3 to 6 months just to figure out how things work at your company and become truly productive? And here's the real kicker. After all that time and money, external hires are way more likely to leave, which means you're right back at square one, starting this whole expensive mess all over again.
I love this quote because it just nails it. Trying to hire your way out of the skills gap, it's like trying to bail out a sinking boat with a thimble. You're just never going to win. It's a frantic, exhausting, losing battle. What you really need isn't a thimble. You need a high-powered pump. And that pump? That's training your own people. And that's our big pivot. This brings us to the build strategy. Instead of constantly trying to buy talent, you build it. You invest in the people who are already on your team. It's strategic, it's sustainable, and honestly, it's just plain smarter. And if you need one big, juicy number to convince you, here it is. It costs 3 to 5 times less to upskill your current employees than it does to hire someone from the outside. I mean, just think about that. For what you'd spend on one new hire who might not even work out, you could train and upskill a whole team of people you already know and trust. The math it doesn't lie.
This chart really puts it all into perspective. Let's just run down the list. Time to get productive? Weeks for an internal person versus months for someone new. What about understanding your business? Your existing people already get it. That's priceless. And retention? People who feel invested in are way more likely to stick around. You look at it from any angle, cost, speed, loyalty, scalability, the build strategy wins every single time.
Okay, so the why is pretty clear, right? Building is better than buying. But how do you actually do it? Because smart upskilling is way more than just giving everyone a login to some video library and hoping for the best. It needs to be a real, structured process. And this 4-step framework is basically your roadmap. It's super straightforward. First, you assess. Figure out what skills you have and what skills you need. Then you train. Give people the right learning for their specific job. The key part is next, apply. You have to let them use those new skills on actual, real-world projects right away. And finally, you measure.
You track the impact not just on did they get a certificate, but on things that really matter to the business. Are we deploying faster? Are we saving money? That's the stuff that counts.
So where do you start? What skills should you be focusing on? Well, these are the big ones that are going to give you the most bang for your buck. You've got the fundamentals like cloud architecture and DevOps. Then you've got the skills you absolutely need to scale responsibly, like security and FinOps, which is basically managing your cloud spending. And of course, the big one on the horizon, AI and machine learning. That's where everything is headed.
All right, now this is the part I love. This doesn't have to be some massive, year-long initiative. You can actually get a pilot program off the ground in the next 30 days. Seriously. And you can start seeing a real impact almost right away. Here's how you do it. 5 easy steps. 1. Figure out what skills you've got. 2. See how those skills line up with what you need to do in the next year. 3. Pick a solid training partner. 4, and this is key, start small. Pilot with just a small group, maybe 10 or 20 people. And 5, measure everything. It's a fantastic, low-risk way to prove that this whole build thing actually works.
And the results come in fast. Remember that 3 to 6 month ramp-up time for new hire? Forget that. With a focused pilot program, most companies start seeing a real, measurable return on their investment within 8 to 12 weeks. We're talking 2 to 3 months. That's the kind of speed and impact that makes a difference.
So let's just wrap it all up. The talent market for cloud skills isn't going to magically get easier. All the data, all the evidence that points to one clear conclusion. Building your talent from the inside is cheaper, it's faster, and it gives you a team that's more capable and way more loyal. The smartest companies, your competitors, they're already doing this. So the final question really is, are you going to keep trying to buy your way out with a thimble, or are you ready to start building?